Hi, my name's Joe Brewer, and I'm an innovation strategist. I didn't just come to this work in a direct path, like I didn't go to college and sign up for a BS in innovation. No, I took a different approach. And since the work that I do is a bit unusual, a bit unorthodox, I thought you might appreciate learning how I came to do this work. See, it started out when I was an undergraduate student, Southeast Missouri State University in Cape Girardeau, and I was interested in a lot of different things. So I started studying physics and philosophy, and I was very interested in the performing arts, so I studied dance and theater as well. And pretty soon I realized that what I was very interested actually was the foundations of knowledge and in explaining the deeper patterns that unfold around us in the world. So I started digging into an area of research called complexity science. And I learned that there are ways to rigorously analyze dynamic systems, to explain the patterns that are unfolding within them, as well as to see the limitations of our ability to understand or predict what's happening in a complex world. Now, I started out doing this as a philosopher and then as a physicist, and I studied it in physics specifically because that's a place where you can construct controllable experiments and really, in a quantifiable way, figure out what's going on in a system and why it behaves the way it does. Now, I didn't study this to just be a physicist. I studied it because I wanted to understand how those same patterns could unfold in complex social systems. So when I went to graduate school in atmospheric science at the University of Illinois, I focused on how complex patterns form. Now, specifically, I was looking at how cloud structures form and how the structure of clouds could be characterized in climate models to better predict how energy moves through the atmosphere. But all the way, as I went along, I was learning a lot of things about the global climate system, about human civilization, and about the patterns that dominate our world. So I quickly realized that having another physicist studying climate wasn't going to solve the big global problems, that really the bigger challenges are in the realm of large-scale behavior, the dominant norms and values of society, and the institutional structures that drive so much of how we behave on a large scale. So I left the university and left my background in the formal physical sciences and went into a different area. I started studying the cognitive and behavioral sciences because I wanted to understand how human behavior works. And I wasn't just interested in this as an academic. I was interested in solving real-world problems like climate change or global poverty, or, more close to home here in the US, a broken political system, massive manipulation through the media, and a set of corrupting influences that make democracy rather difficult to have. So as I was learning about cognitive science, studying things like neuroscience and linguistics, sociology, that I was applying my earlier training in complex systems to look at the trends and patterns that shape human behavior. And as I started really digging in and learning these things in the realm of a practitioner, which means I was working with executives and nonprofits and government agencies, as well as people running social businesses. And I was looking at how the change process unfolds. How does a person's behavior in one setting change as they move to another setting? And what are the influences that shape this, such as the cultural narratives that define what it means to be a good person or a successful person? Or what are the priorities that are given greater salience in a society, which you could think of as the dominant values? So in the US, for example, we have a priority given to individuals. So we tend to have a set of individualist values in our culture. So how would that shape human behavior, and how would it shape the adoption of changes that could promote greater sustainability, greater social justice, and greater sharing of economic prosperity? So in doing all of this work over the last several years, I've learned quite a few things about how the change process works. And I hope this brief introduction gives you a sense of why it is that I've come to do what I do and how my unusual path has brought me here.